Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming so numerously and for your patience. I know I'm a bit late and I will leave early. It's just a very charged day today. But I really wanted to be with you because the freedom of media and the freedom of CSOs and civil society is fundamental in any country. It's fundamental for any democracy around the world, and everybody knows that the civic space is shrinking worldwide. This is a sad trend that has started some time ago, and as European Union, we do everything we can to support the making sure that the spaces remain open everywhere. And you may think, well, things in Kenya are not so good, but they are very good in comparison to other countries. I'm not saying this to make you complacent, but to tell you what the global situation looks like. So Kenya still is relatively free, but I would say that there are some worrying trends and things are maybe not going in the right direction. And what we have seen in the past is that the Kenyan media and civil society sector were so strong in lending a voice to the people and also be watchdogs and monitors of what is happening in the country. I read every morning several newspapers, and I just saw another scandal on the front page this morning. And if there were no media, nobody would know about it. Nobody. Of course, we all know that media is in a transition process. We are going from printed to social and to more visual. So this is putting a lot of pressure on media to make that transition and transformation successfully. But we also, and that is also a global trend, all media globally are facing that same phenomenon. But we also know that in Kenya there have been cases of intimidation of media, and that led also sadly to some self-censorship. We see that with a lot of worry, also economic pressure on the media, because after all, media needs to be free to report, otherwise the value is, it's basically useless. Nobody will look at media if there's nothing to report that is free. So the content has to be protected, and the journalists have to be protected. You know that journalists are among the most endangered species in this world. Journalists have been attacked worldwide, and this is also a growing trend, especially those who are in investigative journalism. So amongst environmental defenders, journalists are the second most targeted profession. So this is something that the EU knows, and you know, we have special mechanisms also for the protection of civil society and human rights defenders. This is not going to change the overall global situation, but for individuals who feel under tremendous pressure, this could be a safety net. So you know that this is there, and we can activate that at very short notice. I need to say that so you know. And if you need, you can contact us. Also, our member states have that possibility. But we do want to make sure that there is investigative capacity in Kenya in the future. So we are also thinking about how to make sure that we can maybe do some capacity building for investigative journalism here in Kenya. Our member states are also looking at that, and some of them are already active in that field. Together with civil society, media is playing a crucial role, especially right now, where it seems that you are the official opposition. So you have become the opposition here in the country. So it's very important that you accompany what is happening in the country and you comment on it. So this is vital for any democracy. Of course, you have to exercise that freedom with prudence, because, of course, facts are facts, and they should be first checked before they go out. So there is also a responsibility there. But certainly, your opinion shaping is a right and a responsibility at the same time. The EU has always stood for the safeguarding of the fundamental freedoms. So freedom to speak your mind, freedom to be who you are within the limits of the legal framework, of course. This is key, and in exercising this, you're protecting the freedom of all. This is a very important role for the entire society. So we are, as EU, standing up against any legislation that is limiting in any way these fundamental freedoms. We do that both inside the European Union and also with our partner countries. Of course, also everything within the diplomatic space that we're given. But you know that our budget lines for human rights and democracies are I think, the strongest in the world. And I hope it remains like that. So we are supporting human rights and civil society with specific budget lines across the globe. And most of them, more than 60%, are directly allocated in the country. That means that they can target specifically what the needs are in every country year by year. So civil society is also getting support by calls for proposals on certain topics that are of importance. And we think that civil society has a crucial role to play, not only in the provision of services, but also in terms of policy shaping and policy monitoring. So this is especially important when it comes to transparency and corruption. And I have seen in the last years that the media have taken a vital role in that. And it's very important that that capacity remains. This is even more important as we are moving now slowly towards the next elections. So it's very crucial that all sectors of society are allowed to express themselves, to organize themselves, and be part of the political debate in this country. So just before closing, I wanted to say a word on digital and AI. In this very fast changing world, and in a world where disinformation is increasingly an issue, we have to be very careful how we use all those new tools, which have tremendous power. But with power comes also risks. We have seen how AI is developing. AI can be extremely useful, but it can also be dangerous. So we have to make sure that we have the right sort of tools to govern that space. The same on media platforms. Nowadays, whenever something comes our way, the first thing we do is to check whether it's fake news. It is difficult to do that, and it really undermines also the general credibility of what is being communicated, because nowadays you question everything before you believe it. I don't think anybody has a solution for this. I think we just have to live with this and get better at recognizing fake news and disinformation. The EU is working on this, but I don't think anybody has invented the silver bullet. We just have to be vigilant and be aware of this whilst we are using the great benefits to our advantage. We have to try to mitigate the risks. So, in summary, the world is changing very rapidly. We have all seen the latest of US elections. Things are also going to influence the situation here in Kenya. We don't know yet how it all plays out, but I know that there are thousands and thousands of very strong and committed people here in Kenya in the civil society and the media, and your collective intelligence, you will be able to manage everything. There's this concept that has been developed by actually the US ambassador. She wrote a book, and the book is called The Power of Many. And I'm very taken by that concept because I think we are underestimating the power of many. The power of many, that is the real power. And we should never forget that when we sometimes feel that new trends, new technologies we feel powerless against them. Then we have to remember the power of the many and just connect as a group and feel empowered and strong. So the EU is standing tall for freedom of expression, the freedom and the support to media, free media, and a free civil society to be steadfast pillars of democracy, not only here in Kenya, but everywhere in the world. So I wish you a great conference and draw strength from each other and exchange best practices to really draw from the power of many. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana.